And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome to Coast Vue, the show that celebrates every single day the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi such an amazing place to live, work, and play. Kyle and I were talking the other day. Kyle Curley, the producer of this show, and I were talking about the number of guests that we've had here toward the end of the year. And the quality of the guests have been just incredible. I just can't, it seems, my wife said, you're going to have to, Ann said to me, she said, you're going to have to maybe go up into the state of Mississippi from time to time, which we do. We definitely do. She wonders, can we keep the momentum of guests? And I said, what's interesting, there are some guests we want to reach back to and stay in touch with, because they've got our guest today in just a second is one of those people that you want to stay in touch with them because they're involved in something important, in this case, economic development. But there are new people. It seems to me that almost every time we turn a rock over, 3 or 4 more rocks come out from underneath it of people that are doing incredible things in coastal Mississippi. People I don't know, young entrepreneurs that are doing incredible stuff, people who are doing great volunteer work in the community, people who, just doing great entrepreneurs that are taking incredible risks. I mean, it takes a lot of people to tango together in a community like coastal Mississippi to make it tick. And I've just been thrilled as we move in toward the end of the year and start to move into 2021, which I keep saying, Lord, have mercy. Where did 2021 go? My goodness, where did it go? I mean, it just literally seems like we were talking about 2020, saying, thank God it's behind us, and we're going into 2021 with momentum, and then we had Delta to deal with, and wow. But I mean, I don't know. Has there ever been a year that moved past so fast as 2021? I don't know why that is, but it certainly seems that way to me. Maybe it does to you as well. But anyway, Happy New Year as we inch closer to the new year. Looking back on the holidays, I hope the holidays have been great for you. And it's been a great year on Coast Vue, celebrating so many incredible people, even focusing on a few important issues along the way. It's been quite a gift. And thank you for listening on 103.1 or Facebook or YouTube or your favorite podcast or SuperTalk TV. We really appreciate you. We're here in whatever form you want to engage with this show. So give us feedback and stay tuned. We have some great guests coming up in 2021. So now let's shift gears. I want to move over to my friend Bill Lavers. Bill is the executive director with the Harrison County Development Commission, someone we have spent time with periodically because, as we have seen with Hancock, Harrison, and Jackson County here on the coast, the economic development people are jacks of all trade. They're not just focused on economic development, but they're focused on so many other things. And we'll remind you here shortly about the things that Harrison County Development Commission is involved in. But without any further ado, let me just welcome Bill to the show. How you doing, my friend?
Good, sir. Happy soon-to-be New Year.
Yeah, happy soon.
I'm ready to get this one behind us and get into the next one. So
I know that. I know that. But you know what's interesting? I remember I went back and just kind of studied some of my notes of our past conversations. So interesting though to think about it because sort of of course you had the initial conversation where we talked about the Harrison County Development Commission as a whole and what they're involved in, et cetera. And we'll remind some of the details of that here shortly. And then as we got close to the COVID, oh, by the way, just before COVID, phones are ringing, lots of things are happening, all these different things. And then COVID hits. And then the phone's still ringing, still activity happening. And we continue to visit along the way. You've had the opportunity to share a lot of good news with us along the way. But Harrison County is a great place to do business, isn't it, Bill?
It really is. And part of the segue that you had coming into this, I hope I live up to the reputation of all those guests that you mentioned earlier. But, it's not one person. It's everybody kind of pulling together. It's, we've got a new port director in John Nass. We've got a new director over in Hancock County in Bill Cotter. And, we interact on a regular basis. We interact with 6 or 8 different groups of people on a regular basis when prospects come to town. And it makes the prospects feel good. So it's not, one person or one team. It's kind of like Billy says, it's one coast. We're all pulling together to win because we're competing against the world. We're not just competing against the bordering counties or Jackson or Texas. We're competing in the global scheme. So, which is fun.
As we've discussed here on Coast Vue, before the pandemic, there was already an emergence of the new economy with the creative class and the ability to work remotely, and all this is before the pandemic, which is that people were beginning to choose communities where they want to live, and then working. So technology jobs, for example, that you can live anywhere and work for Facebook or Google or any other number of companies. But then the pandemic comes and it speeds that up, and so you're seeing sort of a coalescence of conversations happening all along the coast, because we're a collection of communities that make up coastal Mississippi around the new economy. A lot of mixed use being discussed today, but real focus on trying to really enhance the communities that make up our coastal community so that people want to live here. And so we'll continue to do the industrial sort of development and try to attract industrial clients to come here in factories or whatever that might be. But there's a lot to be said for continued conversations around building great communities, and you kind of get to hear it all, don't you?
Yeah, and I've got 2 great examples of that. We had a customer that, one, it was before COVID. It was rated to NFL. They came and stayed at the Bow, and while they were here, they were like, "Wow, this is a great place," and they're from Seattle. Well, they bought their first piece of property. The first visit we had was Thanksgiving a year ago. They've since bought 7 pieces of property in our community, and they decided to retire here from Seattle and move their father and their brother from Florida to Mississippi. So they've bought 3 houses in the community, and they've bought a lot of land in the industrial park. And they love coming here because, in their words, they're escaping the communism that is Seattle. And they were here during 4th of July. They love the flags, the patriotism. They've been so far removed from that where they live, and their business is big enough that they can leave the business behind and come here, but they just love coming here. We have another example of a couple during COVID. They couldn't travel like they normally did. They were from Virginia. They go and stay at it was one of the casinos. It may have been the Bow, I'm not sure. They went back home, said, "We're done. Our kids are grown. We don't need this big house anymore. We love the people. We love the food. Put a sale sign in the yard. Let's go." He's a plumber, so he's moved his business here. They bought a home in Biloxi. And a third one, we've got Ocean Aero that came from San Diego. 45 jobs. Keith and his wife and his 2 children, they happen to be Catholic. Great place to move to. If you're Catholic, come to the coast. He hasn't changed out his car tag yet, but they're here. They love it. They were at the mayor's chamber breakfast in December. They're getting engaged in the community. They have small children, so that they've got that network they're working on as well. So when people come, they get it. And we haven't even gotten all those things you said we need to do yet. We still don't have the walkability and the all the stuff the millennials want, but base hits and bunts score runs, and those are 3 examples, and there are probably 40 that I don't even know about of just, look at December's weather. It's been 70 degrees, Right. You want to be in Chicago shoveling snow, or do you want to be on the coast working on Zoom or whatever,
But Bill, here's the thing that is so true, and I learned this well after Hurricane Katrina, but what it said is that difficult situations, in particular disasters, speed up trends that were already in existence before the disaster. And then we saw that after Katrina. Housing was an issue before Katrina. Diversifying our workforce was an issue before Katrina. But what happens is Katrina hits, and now suddenly all of those trends that might have been out there were just sped up. Now let's take it to the pandemic. Well, you already saw what was the beginning of an exodus of some of the more congested major cities. You saw people starting to want to move out. And now, let's just kind of fast forward a little bit. I read just in the past week a study that was done in one major city in California where significant drop in population just since the pandemic started. And a lot of that's not going to go back. A lot of that's remote workers. And this is the point I'm making, that in this new economy where workers can choose where they want to live, the pandemic, if there was already a trend in that direction, what the pandemic did just speed it up. So there's a real opportunity for coastal Mississippi if we can stay focused on where the opportunities are. And that means really at the end of the day, that means no rest for the weary, because that means everybody's got to work together on multiple fronts simultaneously to win, because the great communities like Nashville and Austin and others are very focused on this, and they get it, and they've got alignment. And that's kind of where we are. Hey, when we come back, we're gonna go back to the basics a little bit and tell you about what the Harrison County Development Commission is all about. And then what we'll do is tell you a little bit some of the highlights in 2021, and then we'll look ahead to 2022. But we'll be back after this break.
Coast Vue on SuperTalk 103.1 is brought to you by J. Allen Toyota on I-10 exit 38 Gulfport. See all the incredible inventory at allentoyota.com. And remember, when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
Hey, South Mississippi, Jonathan Allen here at J. Allen Toyota, I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport, letting you know Toyotathon is on. We have more inventory right now than we've had all year, and we've got a lot more coming. Come see our team and pick out the one that works for you. So think J. Allen Toyotathon.
When it comes to the outdoors, we are one. We live in one of the best places in America to enjoy the great outdoors. So let's talk about it. Super Talk Outdoors with Ricky Mathews. Mondays starting at noon. Here on Super Talk Mississippi. Presented by the Foundation Protecting Our Outdoors Heritage. Listen or watch the show anywhere you get Super Talk Mississippi. If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
Super Talk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visits.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. Super Talk Mississippi. Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on Super Talk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews on Super Talk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. Economic development, big conversation in coastal Mississippi that goes on every single day across multiple organizations and multiple fronts. Today, we're having a conversation with Bill Lavers, who's the executive director of the Harrison County Development Commission. Bill, one of the things, I want to share something with you. I was on your website, and I found something. I read this from your website, and I just thought this was sort of a nice kind of buttoned up way to say about coastal Mississippi. And so I want to read it. And I want you to talk for a second, just at a high level, why that's important to you in the Harrison County Development Commission. And then I want to know who your commissioners are these days, what the various committees are, what the industrial parks are that you're responsible for. We'll come back to all that here in this segment. But here's what it said. The headline was, "Welcome to a community that never stops moving and doing." And then this is what it says, where productivity is showcased in everything from an experiential high school development program to our skilled retired military now thriving in the workforce. We are unwavering in our flexibility. When we see a need or an opportunity, we dig in with a great solution. And then there's the 26 miles of coastline that provide a door to the heart of America and the countries abroad. All this productivity is set against an unexpectedly breathtaking backdrop, the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Those who live and work here understand that the waterfront is not just beautiful, but a hub for business. Even retirees and vacationers are drawn to this beautiful sense of purpose that seems to be in this ocean breeze. I just thought that's a wonderful way to say it. Now, let me get really specific here. Well, I tell you what. I'm going to come back to what I was about to say. First of all, let me respond to that.
All right. Okay. So when we got here, if you notice on our website, it doesn't say the word economic development anywhere. And it doesn't have any properties listed, and that's on purpose. Because in order to find out what we have, you got to get on the phone with me or Brandy or Marcia or Michelle or Lori or Jason, and we get to talk to you, and we get to have a conversation, and we get to figure out what your needs are. Because I don't want you to be 2 clicks away from, oh, it's Mississippi, they don't have what I want, I'm moving on to the, wherever. Yeah. There's that. So what we did was we went out for bid. We had 16 responses for our new website and marketing. The company that won was a group out of North Carolina called Trone Brand Energy. They came down here and analyzed what we did. They wrote that not because of us, but because of the resiliency of the coast. They saw that through our eyes and through George Slogel and the people we introduced them to when they were here. And they went back and said, this is what, and the tagline is beautifully productive, because that, with all that the coast has been through, for all the history that it has, it's a special place. Every city has its own character. Everybody, I tell people all the time, if you have a flat tire in Mississippi and you call somebody, you can probably call like one person and they'll be there to help you. And that doesn't happen all over the country. And if they say, hey, I've got a truck, if you ever need to borrow it, let me know, they mean it. It's not just a gesture. So the people and the culture and the surroundings are pretty, it's a pretty easy sell when you're coming from other places. So now go into the history of the commission. So that's what led up to that. And they got us. So that's why we did that.
Here's what I want to. Back many years ago, it's back in the 1990s actually. Chevis Sweatman and I flew to Charlotte to meet with Michael Gallis. Do you know Michael Gallis? Major economic development planner in the United States. And Michael, what Michael did, it was really interesting the way he approached the conversation. He stood up at a map of Mississippi Gulf Coast, and he said, "Okay, I'm going to show y'all how I think about this." And the first thing he did was, you're on the coast. Okay, unbelievable plus. Okay, where's your port? Okay, you got a port. And he's pointing at the port. Then he says, okay, I want to know, okay, what's the highway access look like here? Oh, you got I-10, you got Highway 90. Okay, major pluses. Then he talks about, he says, now does your industrial parks have water access, deep water access? He sees the industrial park. And, and then he goes on from there. And I never lost how strong of an impression he made on me. And I bet Chevis would say the same thing. Actually, when I led the oil recovery efforts in Alabama, the planning efforts after the oil spill for Governor Riley, we actually hired Michael Gallis to come down and spend some time just consulting with us, because as we were building this model and writing this book about how to best respond to the oil spill, he helped once again, it was up in age, but his just incredibly smart helped us develop a framework. Our forefathers 60 years ago, or maybe better than 60 years ago, when they created the Bob Bernard Industrial Park, they knew what they were doing, didn't they?
Yeah, that was truly visionary for them to have that idea and to pull it off. I mean, a lot of people have great ideas, but they can't find the funding or the support. But for them to do what they did, it's actually 64 years ago, is unbelievable. And we're stewards of those great decisions from that long ago still today. So and it's really. It's remarkable to think. I mean, we've got the map in the front conference room. The channel was supposed to go all the way to Bay St. Louis. We have the original blueprint for that. They got to the clover leaf and kind of had to stop. But they had a bigger vision than they did. But even what they were able to pull off is remarkable.
It really is. And then if you look at the histories, then eventually you had all these other industrial parks, whether it's Long Beach, Harrison County. You became sort of a water and sewer, provider. Tell a little bit about what the commission is up to these days. Not these days. Just let's go. What does it do?
Let's go to structure for a second. So back to those forefathers, they also had a really good plan. So each mayor appoints a commissioner, each supervisor appoints a commissioner, and then the governor appoints 2 commissioners. So there are 12 members of the board. I've been here just over 4 years, and we've had about a 50% turnover on the board because I guess I'm hard to work with or for or something. But there's been a lot of retirements, and in December was Shorty Sneed after a long term on the board. He retired, and Billy Thornton took his place. We're going to miss the humor, and if you ever need somebody to win a donut eating contest, Shorty Sneed is your man. And he was instrumental in helping us get the rail brought back to the industrial park. So, and we told him, you got an empty seat at the table anytime you want to come. And wherever we're doing something, we'd love for you to be our guest. Just because you're not an active commissioner doesn't mean you're not a commissioner. And we still have Don that works at, I can't remember his last name, that works at Seaman as a former commissioner. And I'm horrible with names, but the chairman of the airport board that lives in the Pass, he's a former Dave Dennis. So we know who our previous commissioners are, and we still Johnny Atherton. There's a ton of them out in the community. So we still engage with those former commissioners. So our new commissioners this year, we have John Carter was a governor appointee. We have James Moody was a governor appointee, and then Billy switched out for Shorty. So those were our kind of fourth quarter changes on the team. And I've told everybody this, especially the commissioners, I would put my team of commissioners and their support level up against just about anybody, because I think right now we have one of the best teams that we've ever had. So I'll roll them out, and hopefully I don't leave anybody out. There are only 12 of them, but I forget one of them all the time. So I've got Frankie Castiglia from Long Beach. I've got Jimmy Levins from Long Beach. I've got Billy Thornton from Gulfport. I just mentioned John Carter and James. I've got Warren Conway, who's a supervisor appointee. I've got Rip Daniels, a supervisor appointee. I've got Jennifer Burke from Pass Christian. I've got Mike Leonard, who's the CAO for the city of Biloxi. And I've got Brian Galat, the shrimp king of D'Iberville. Who am I leaving out? Mark Schlogel. And I got to go around the table in my head here. I've left somebody out. Anyway, I have a great team, and all their names and their pictures are on our website. So go to mscoast.org, and they really help me and my team get the things done that we need to do. I come up with some crazy ideas. In December, we had a party, and I thought it'd be a great idea to have the cheerleaders do a banner, like the football team runs through it, and we just have the train do that. Well, when you're standing there with a group of cheerleaders, I didn't know the train was going to come that fast, and it was kind of scary. But we got out of the way, and the banner broke, and nobody got hurt. But that seemed like a really good idea, in the planning stage, but in the actual, it was a little hairy, but it's good. It was on the news. Then we try to have fun, and our commissioners support that. Oh, Wendy Sweatman's who I left out. That was my 12th man. So, yeah. And all those commissioners come to the table with their own experience level, their own ideas, and then what I do in my time here is I don't want them to ever say, well, Bill Lavers said to go do this. It's a team sport. We make a team decision, and we go out and execute what the team decided to do.
This is Bill Lavers from the Harrison County Development Commission. And when we come back, we'll continue the conversation, look at some of the highlights from 2021, and look ahead to 2022. We'll see you after this break.
Listen live or on demand and watch episodes of Coast Vue on your laptop, desktop, or on your phone or tablet by going to SuperTalkMSGulfCoast.com.
When it comes to the outdoors, we are one. We live in one of the best places in America to enjoy the great outdoors. So let's talk about it. Super Talk Outdoors with Ricky Mathews. Mondays starting at noon. Here on Super Talk Mississippi. Presented by the Foundation Protecting Our Outdoors Heritage. Listen or watch the show anywhere you get Super Talk Mississippi.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back. Now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever.
I get knocked down, but I go again.
Check us out. The new Bob 106.3.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on Super Talk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Merry Christmas, South Mississippi. It is Toyotathon time here at J. Allen Toyota, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport. You see this halo right up here that says the tradition continues? Y'all, this is our 12th Christmas in this facility here on I-10 in Gulfport, and we couldn't be more thrilled. So I want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of South Mississippi and remind you that Toyotathon is a great time to buy. We've got more inventory than we've had almost all year long, and we've got a lot coming. So come check us out. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Get the scoop on what happened in college football and what to expect in the NFL. Each Sunday on Sports Sunday with Michael Borky. Get the story behind the stats, 8 to 10 a.m. on Super Talk Mississippi, supertalk.fm, and watch the show on supertalk.tv. Super Talk Mississippi. We're more than just words. This is where the story of your state is told. Proud to cover the Magnolia State like nobody else. Super Talk Mississippi.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking very hard to find PPE items to make our community a safer place. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. They were even sending thousands of dollars of PPE supplies free to local schools in need with help from other local business leaders. The next time your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider a local company that supports your ball teams, cheerleaders, and area homeless. Consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply, the local guys that keep your prices fair, your service and selection excellent, and your health our business. Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. talking to Paul Thorne, Mississippi, true treasure, really incredible recording artist, singer, songwriter. Has been doing it a long time, doing it the right way.
It's almost like a Forrest Gump thing because, I was a boxer, / I worked in a furniture factory, / I had a gig 2 nights a week playing my acoustic guitar in a pizza restaurant, / I was in the National Guard. And,
wow.
All this stuff was going on at the same time. / I had a writing contract with Rick Hall and Fame.
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive, fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back. Now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever.
I get knocked down, but I go again.
Check us out. The new Bob 106.3.
And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome back to Coast Vue. We're having a conversation with Bill Lavers, the executive director of the Harrison County Development Commission. But before we went to break, we were sort of listing the members of your 12-member commission. And I know all of them or know of them. You really do have a dream team to work with, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And Wendy's going to really get after me for forgetting him, but,
No, he's not.
It'll be okay.
Actually, it creates a moment for you and I to talk about his entrepreneurship and his contributions to Coastal Mississippi. Some of the best shows I've had are with Wendy Swepman and Shorty Sneed and others. But it's a
now think about that. Think about having Wendy, Shorty with 12 Donuts, Wendy, Mark Slogel, and Brian Galat. They all sit down at one end of the table. So I have, Frankie has to kind of control them, because it's kind of the class clown section in some cases. And Wendy's awesome at one-liners, and he's very busy, and we're all very busy, and he's been a great team member. They're all just, I tell them all, I'm here because of them. I had opportunities to go to other places. I was in a town in Kentucky, and with all they're going through right now, our prayers are with them too. But I got in the car. I hadn't even left the city limits, and I called and said, I'm out. And they're like, what? I'm like, no, I didn't like the people I met. And then I got here, and that's why I'm here. So, and the people that have retired or we've really had a lot of retirements off the board, mainly. They've been replaced with people that get what we're doing, which is crucial. We're actually just being able to run faster now because we've got team members that aren't as busy and want to be engaged and really want to hit the ground running. So it's 22 is going to be incredible.
You mentioned they're busy, but here's what I've often said, and it's certainly true of me, that if you wanted something done, find a busy person. That's just the reality of it, right? I mean, busy people are pretty good at managing their time and understand how to prioritize, and they know the importance of working in an organization like yours. Hey, when you look back on 2021, what are some of the biggest highlights of the year for you?
Well, I had this crazy idea. We had 7 acres that had been sitting there for 50 years. And I decided, well, nobody wants 7 acres. So let's put a street in the middle of it, cut it into 6 lots and see how it goes. So I'd never built a street before. I talked about it. I'd seen other people do it. This year we built a street, and it was the first street that we built. The Development Commission has never built a street, so that was a first. And it was the first street that we built in Interplex since 1989. So my guys, Jason, Jeremy, and I've had 2 Jeremys. One went off to be a realtor in Pensacola. So that's the other thing. I'm kind of like a coach. You know, if you're on my team and you get a better opportunity, go take the better opportunity. You know, if we can give you the skills that you need to go to the next level, go. You know, we're not going to hold you back. So that was one of the Jeremys was like that. Kevin was an example in December. He got a job to go back to the job he had. They doubled his salary. I couldn't compete with that. You go, Kevin. You know, we love what you did for us, but you know, that's better for your family. So my guys did the infrastructure. We built the road. We partnered with other people to put in curbs and I didn't know you had to put down the curbs before you could put down the paving. And I didn't know you had to do it. And it's a very coordinated, choreography of a dance that I will know better the next time. But anyway, we did that. And on that street, 5 out of 6 of those lots are already under contract. I also didn't know that you had to complete the street before the city would let you file your plat, before you could sell the lots, before you could go take it through our political process to get it approved. So thankfully, we have some very patient buyers that are willing to do that. So some of the tenants that are coming there, Mark from Wharton Smith Contractors, they're going to move their corporate office there. We've got a pharmaceutical company coming from California. My old buddy Tim McGee, he's my favorite entrepreneur. He's bought another lot and he's going to put in a building. And whenever we put in a building, it gives an opportunity for a new business to come. And then we've got 1 lot left that I don't think will last very long. So, for example, in kind of the first week of December, we had 3 different people come in on the same day from multiple states and multiple cities looking at multiple things in the industrial park. So, and we don't just say, you know, here's our industrial park, here's your white Chevy, have a nice day. You know, we show them a Dodge, a Ford, maybe an electric car these days. So we show them all the parks. So we have Long Beach, we have Saussure, and we kind of listen to the customer and figure out what they need, what they want to do, and then try to help them. If they're not from here, where's the best place for them to plug in to be as successful as they can in their business? And if it's not in our industrial park, fine. As long as it's in Harrison County, don't talk to me about Jackson or Hancock. But, you know, I'm loyal to the county I work for. So, and in that, the county's going to put in a new building on Seaway Road, which will the building that is on Community Drive, where you go to get your permits and engineering, and all those folks will get an upgraded 22,000 square foot facility with room in the back for growth and storage. So that'll be on the south side of Seaway Road. And then we also, you know, everybody's talking about Buc-ee's, and I don't count these deals until I can walk in them. And, you know, every time I talk to Stan, I'm like, man, I got to buy some beaver nuggets and I don't want to go to Alabama. So when are we going to open the store? So they're still about 2 years out. They found some lovely wetlands that delayed them about a month. They were supposed to close middle of December, but hopefully they'll close middle of January. And then this year we landed Ocean Aero. Because we got Ocean Aero, there's another company just like them that will be back. They've been back. They're going to let us know middle of January. We've had some behemoth is the best word, things that we couldn't do ourselves, so we had to partner with HCUA to handle the volume of water and sewer that this one prospect needed. I selfishly think that we're in first place, because I don't know how anybody could be any better than what we set up for them to be here with. Now, if we get in a fight with somebody like Texas with a big checkbook, we're going to lose. But we can win on culture, community, and passion, and that's kind of, you know, so we pick the people that are like us. You know, we're not, I don't, you know, you're going to probably get mad and listeners get, I don't want to be Nashville, because Nashville can't handle being Nashville right now. I like being us. And if we get 5 people instead of 5,000 that's a good thing, because those 5 people will settle in. And, you know, you've been here a long time. Jimmy Levins has been here a long time. He tells me all the time, he said, I used to go to the grocery store and knew everybody in there. Now I don't know a soul, unless sometimes he runs into me. But that's what we want. We don't want unbridled growth, because honestly, we couldn't handle it. So, you know, base hits and bunts score runs too, especially if you're good at stealing bases. So, you know, that's the kind of, you know, we go after the big behemoth deals. But that behemoth deal, for example, in today's world, everybody talks about jobs and economic development. It's more about investment. So that behemoth deal is $600 million, but it's only 100 jobs. So, you know, we're not getting a Tesla gig factory like they did in Nevada with 1,000 jobs. And I mean, if we did, we don't have anywhere for those people to live. They would just pirate the jobs that are already here. So then they would take a good employee from another company that then would leave that company behind. And every company this year, probably highlighted by COVID, they all fight. Everybody's looking for good people. And it doesn't matter whether it's a restaurant, a grocery store, Seaman Composites, U.S. Marine, the cabinet shop, Hartson Kennedy Cabinets. They're all looking for good people. I was looking for good people. Jeremy, my second Jeremy, is a great person. And we were very, very lucky to find him. He'd gone to Michigan thinking he wanted to go back home and be with family. And he came back, and we were lucky to land him. And he's a hardworking, awesome guy that we're glad to have on our team. And that's who everybody's looking for. So if we get a behemoth deal, at least we get a behemoth deal with 100 jobs instead of 1,000, because we don't have 1,000 Jeremys out there. I wish we did, but that's a great segue to talk about next when we go to C-Force, because we're creating our pipeline of those opportunities as well. So great year. Couple of things that should have happened didn't, but they're still out there. And you know, it's a great time, and people are calling, people are still coming. I think one of the things that we had some folks in from New York a couple of weeks ago, and they just love being somewhere where they don't have to wear a mask. They love the freedom. They love seeing how we celebrate our freedom in South Mississippi with the American flag and the patriotism, like I mentioned with the previous customer on 4th of July. And these folks, like you said earlier, there's a transition to go get away from the bigger cities, but people want to be around people that are like them too. So, you know, it's not, when you go to Austin, it's great and it's cool, but that's a mini California in Austin. You leave Austin, you go out to West Texas. If you went from California to Austin and you went to West Texas, they would throw you out in about 48 seconds. So, you know, the good thing is we're getting like-minded people here, and they're investing a lot of money.
This is Bill Lavers from the Harrison County Development Commission. It is smart, healthy growth is really important, especially at this moment with all of the moving around that's happening in the job world. That's why we need to be a great place to live, working place, so people want to live here. When we come back, we'll visit with Bill for the final segment. We'll see you after this.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever.
I get knocked down, but I go again.
Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
Merry Christmas, South Mississippi. It is Toyotathon time here at J. Allen Toyota, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport. You see this halo right up here? It says the tradition continues. Y'all, this is our 12th Christmas in this facility here on I-10 in Gulfport, and we couldn't be more thrilled. So I want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of South Mississippi, and remind you that Toyotathon is a great time to buy. We've got more inventory than we've had almost all year long, and we've got a lot coming. So come check us out. Merry Christmas, y'all.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi. Thousands of Bulldog fans have subscribed to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. Have you? On each episode, Brian Haydad and Joel Coleman give you an inside look at your Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Thunder and Lightning podcast is free and available on demand at supertalk.fm and on your smartphone. Just search for Thunder and Lightning on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thunder and Lightning from SuperTalk Mississippi, covering the Bulldogs like no one else.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We're talking to Dale Berra. Take me back to growing up and what it was like in the household with a dad like Yogi Berra.
You know, we grew up with his funny sayings. You know, I remember Dad managing the Mets, and me, Larry, and Timmy are watching the game on TV. And all of a sudden, two streakers run out of the stands on TV, and the camera slips away from them. So when he gets home, me, Larry, and Timmy say, "Hey, Dad, those streakers, what were they, boys or girls? We need to know." And Dad looked us right in the eye and said, "I couldn't tell. They had bags over their heads."
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
When it comes to the outdoors, we are one. We live in one of the best places in America to enjoy the great outdoors. So let's talk about it. Super Talk Outdoors with Ricky Mathews. Mondays starting at noon. Here on Super Talk Mississippi. Presented by the Foundation Protecting Our Outdoors Heritage. Listen or watch the show anywhere you get Super Talk Mississippi. Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews on Super Talk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast Vue. We're having a conversation with Bill Lavers, the Executive Director of the Harrison County Development Commission, and we sort of just kind of laid the foundation for the commission, talked a lot about the kind of things that are happening in the past year. You know, Bill, as we think forward, if we think about 2022, you guys excited about the coming year? Because you got a lot of things that are in the works, don't you?
Yeah, there's, you know, I'm not a very patient person on a good day, but the good Lord reminds me of that on a regular basis. So, you know, some of the big projects that we thought we were going to land in 21 are going to kick to 22. They didn't disappear. They got delayed for one reason or another. So yeah, we need to just be thankful and grateful for what we have too. You know, that's something I try to remind my team that, you know, this is a unique opportunity because of the things that have happened in the past. The vision of the original folks that had the idea for the Development Commission, because of the vision and the money that was spent. When people come from other parts of the country, as bad as Katrina was, now we've got a, you know, state-of-the-art infrastructure that most of the rest of the country doesn't have. So people want to be here and be part of that. You know, you don't think about water and sewer until your sewer backs up or your water doesn't work, you know. So But yeah, there's a lot to be thankful and grateful for, and there's a lot on the horizon and that we know about, and there's an awful lot that we don't know about. But we're ready. Put me in, coach. We've got a Bill Cork and I have a great relationship with MDA. We're going to go on offense. John Nash and I talked about it the other day. For years, I think we're a port, right? We got a port. Well, it's kind of like convincing a Corvette owner that he should be, or a Ferrari owner that he should be a Corvette owner. We've got a Corvette because our port is shallow draft. So let's go talk to the other Corvette owners and leave the Lamborghini and Ferrari guys alone. So we're going to go on offense to shallow draft ports and build relationships, because people aren't just going to pick up the phone or throw a dart on the map and say, hey, Gulfport, let's go there. Not only for imports, but exports. What can we send somewhere else that they didn't know that we had because they didn't know who we are? So we're going to go bounce them just like people come and visit us. We're going to go on offense and do those kinds of things in a team environment. We do the same thing with Clay Williams. And so we've just got a lot of pin-up opportunity, and people want to get out. We had our coastal partnership luncheon, and those are all, they don't like being called retirees, but they are, and they're old. I mean, I'm old, but they're older than me. And we had 40 people RSVP, and they couldn't wait because it was the first time they'd gone out and done anything since March of 2020, not 2021. So it was the first face-to-face thing that they'd had. They loved it. We had another event in the industrial park, and we had our holiday block party. Some of the ladies came to that. I said, okay, so the deal is we got to get you out of the house, and we got to bribe you with food, and you'll come. And they're like, yeah, every time. And they love being out, and they love being part of the community. So let's talk about C-Force for a second. So last time I was on, you met Colton. And Colton is still working with Metadyne and Mark. And Mark has added another student named, sorry, I'm looking at my phone, Colton Bruni and Connor Norvell. They're both seniors at Gulfport High School. They're working on robotics, programming, and electrical and mechanical engineering projects for Metadyne. And Metadyne, with the high school and counselors and the teachers and families and all that, those two students are working on their applications to MIT and Georgia Tech. So those are the caliber of students that we're immersing into the workforce. So let me go through the other. It's going to sound like the birthday club, but here we go. We have 9, well, Colton's on this list, so we have 8 other interns, and this is something that we've had to kind of repopulate after COVID as well, because we had 34 kids, and then they couldn't come to work or school, and so we had to kind of shut it down and then redo it. So we've got Gracie Smallwood, Cameron Britton, Amari Jackson, Nicholas Willis, Jeb Barta, Charlie Meyer, Jeremiah Jean, and Aliyah Pereira. So these students work, Gracie works with us, Cameron works with us. They do digital media, they do videos. They were on a lot of the parties that we had. And we're going to send them out into the community to do testimonials from our customers, from our commissioners. Amari's on that team as well. Nicholas is as well. Jeb works at the Mississippi Aquarium. Charlie works at the Mississippi Aquarium. Jeremiah works at WJZD. And Aliyah works at Suncoast. Aliyah works at Suncoast John Deere. I didn't know if that was Suncoast Building Materials, but I think it's John Deere. So, and these are students that they get to pick what they think they want to do, and we put them in the seat and let them try it out, and then we pay them. And I've said it before, one of my favorite things to do is sign a check to Aliyah for $126.48. That's her paycheck. And it means a lot, because a lot of times these are those students' first jobs ever, and they're getting something to put on their resume, and they're building relationships, and hopefully they'll come back to the coast after or stay on the coast if they don't go off to school.
Well, I really enjoyed our conversation with Colton Bruni the last time that we visited. What a bright young man he is, and he's a testament to the other young people that you're dealing with. It's amazing. So, Bill Lavers from the Harrison County Development Commission, it's been a pleasure to kind of catch up with you. Good luck and Happy New Year to you guys.
Same to you guys. Thanks for all you do, and let's rock it out in 2022.
We'll see you after the first of the year. Take care, buddy.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Follow SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on Facebook. Facebook.com/SuperTalk MS Coast 103.1.